Today's Thanksgiving episode of Spike's Car Radio is sponsored in part by Bob's Watches. Discover Bob's, the most trusted destination to buy or sell 100% authentic luxury pre-owned watches. Shop vintage and contemporary pieces from Rolex, Tudor, Omega, Breitling, Cartier, Patek, and more. Explore thousands of models available now at bobswatches.com. See my picks for the holiday season at bobswatches.com/spike. Overnight delivery and free shipping included. All right, let's start the show.
And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
And I think I hear something now. The crowd is moving out into the parking area. And, oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter. And it's coming this way.
A helicopter?
It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner. And it says, Happy Thanksgiving. From W-K-R-P. Ladies and gentlemen, what a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object. Perhaps a skydiver plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Second to the third. There's no parachutes yet. Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh, my God, they're turkeys! Oh, Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes! One just went through the windshield of a parked car! Johnny, this is terrible. The cars running around, pushing each other? Oh, my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. See, folks, I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there.
There you go. The WKRP Turkey Drop. And Les Nessman calling it Turkey by Turkey as they fall to the ground. A classic clip for those of you who are old enough to remember WKRP, like Zuckerman, who's old enough to remember WKRP. Welcome to Spike's Car Radio. Anyway, we have a great show for you today. Look who's here with us. The guys from Seen Through Glass, Sam and Tony. Gentlemen.
All the way over.
Good to be here.
Hello. How are you?
What a fantastic day.
What a fantastic day we're having.
Top of the morning.
Is that Irish?
That's Magnus.
That's Magnus. Oh, right. Anyway, this is really fun having you guys here, and thank you for coming by. And we'll get into the reasons that you are here. But really, the real reason you're here is because one of our co-hosts is a huge fan of yours, Jerry Seinfeld.
Which is mad.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I was in Luxembourg on a road trip, and my phone just starts going bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, what is going on? And I open up and people go, listen to Spike's Car Radio. Oh my God. And freaking out. So I open up your latest episode and there we go. There's Jerry saying, I watched this guy Seen Through Glass. I don't know his name. And I'm like, I don't care. You don't need to know my name, Jerry.
So
cool.
We had asked him, I said, because he only watches YouTube these days.
It's weird, but yes.
Yeah, that's what my 12-year-old does. It's weird that you're doing it too. And I go, what are you watching? He goes, oh, there's some of the greatest car content. And I go, well, let's do your favorite YouTube car content, guys. And you were one of the first that came up. And he's back in New York right now. And I talked to him yesterday. He goes, what are you doing? I go, podcasting tomorrow with your boys. And I go, who's that? And he goes, it's Sam and Tony from Seen Through Glass. He goes, oh, you're kidding. Really? Can they wait till I'm out there? And I go, well, they live in England, Jerry. They can't wait till you're out there. But he did give me a question, and we'll get to it. And it really made me laugh. You'll probably know what he's talking about more than I will. I want to know what you guys are doing out here.
So we do a podcast in the UK. It's called Behind the Glass. I actually don't know why we called it that, but I think it's something to do with behind the scenes of Seen Through Glass, which is my YouTube channel. We've been doing it for like 2.5 years. It's been great. We absolutely love it. Weekly episodes as well. But we're here to break America.
Like the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. We've had less fanfare than the Beatles had, I got to be honest. Tony's first time ever in America.
Really?
Yeah, first time here, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
Say it's shit.
No, I really like it. It does remind me of the UK, but just in bigger scale. But I settled. I think if I ever lived here, I'd settle in like immediately because it's so familiar.
Well, right away, the weather must be a huge deal for you. Is LA the only part of the United States you went to?
Yeah, I've never been to America before.
All right, well, this isn't like the rest of the country. This really isn't. This is kind of where you get to retire. But the rest of the United States, wouldn't you say, Zuckerman? It's kind of
go to different parts.
Yeah.
Because different parts will remind you, this is like fucking Leeds. This is
Don't be like that.
All of these places. I just want to hear you say America's right shit.
But honestly,
Give me 10 minutes and I will.
For those of you that don't know our show, Tony is a less charming Zuckerman. Like so.
Yeah.
Oh, they're less charming?
Yeah,
he
like,
seems very charming.
They do kind of look like each other.
We're on our best behaviour today.
Yeah, he's on best behavior.
He's got the same unshaven face, the same glasses, a little more hair than Zuckerman.
We're basically brothers, mate.
Yeah, you are. You've heard of the sister cities, the
Yes,
like
Yes.
Boston and San Francisco. Now we have a sister podcast. Look at this.
That's it.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah, I want you guys to drill down. I want to hear now your real Zuckerman views on America.
Well, the question to ask then is ask Tony's views on American cars. Because coming here, I was like, I need to get in behind the wheel of some real Americana stuff. So I was nervous of doing so, but we've been in the Cadillac Escalade V Series. We've been in a C8 Corvette Stingray and a Shelby GT500.
Oh, boy.
So if you want him to unleash, I won't talk now. You can ask Tony his opinion.
Go ahead, Tony. Unleash.
Do you have any American cars, by the way?
We had a Cadillac here.
We had a 70 Cadillac Coupe de Ville,
Lasted
bigger
what?
probably than that Escalade that's out there. It left because it took up too much space. And no, we really don't have anything these days.
Okay, good. So compared to European cars, I've never driven anything so bad in all my life.
Which was the worst of the three? You got to break down the three.
Actually, to drive down the highway, as you call it in LA or America,
Well done.
the Cadillac, the Escalade, is the nicest to drive down the road. We drove the Mustang GT500, which was a riot in a straight line, terrible round the corner. And then was it the C8?
The C8 Corvette.
The C8 Corvette, which was just a little bit of a numb device. But actually, when we drilled it all down of values and stuff compared to the European equivalents, they're actually quite good value. So I did give them some stick, but when you look at the prices compared to a European equivalent, they're actually not that bad at all. But they are terrible to drive.
He's being very polite.
I want to hear you say it's something's right shit. I want to.
Just saying, they're right shit. We're not American car guys. None of us are. We're Porsche guys. E-miners and BMW. I like Ferrari. I like Land Rover. That's about it.
Anyone an American car guy? Because we did a live event at the Peterson Museum. We had sort of 50 people turn up, and there was one Camaro SS. That was just the guy bought it as a joke.
Yeah.
Everything else was European. So who's buying American cars these days?
Other parts of America.
Yeah, the other parts you haven't visited.
Yeah.
The right shit parts.
The right shit. Leads. The leads part.
Because it's a very different experience for us. I think Jeremy Clarkson used to always say, the interiors are crap and they can't go around the corner. I like American cars. For me, it's silly, it's fun. It reminds me of like a overpowered Jaguar. I think it's all kind of great. But at the same time, would you have one over a European car? I don't think so.
No, it's probably the same reason I have an old Land Rover Series 2A. It's because it wasn't made here. It feels exotic to me, but it does drive like right shit. It leaks all over the place. It's junky. I mean, yeah, my old Triumph motorcycle, the same thing. And I that's why you like American cars, because they're American. But we grew up with them. They were, in our generation especially, that's all our parents drove, right? And they had these kind of big, heavy metal cars that didn't handle. And then, right around when we're getting our driver's license, these cool things came out. Like these little Japanese cars that had
320i
speeds, yeah, and you just
we didn't
what
have
is that?
those. We didn't. My first car was I had a 1/3 share for rusting 73-year-old's Vista Cruiser wagon, and I thought that was the greatest thing on earth. And you could knock over the neighbor's garbage pails with it, and nobody would think otherwise.
And I had a Torino 500, a 71, Torino 500, and I had 50% of that.
Oh my god!
But I loved it until my brother crashed it, and that was the end of it.
I'll tell you that when I got $1 in my pocket, I wanted to get some muscle cars, right? I wanted to get what I didn't have. And so I quickly went out and bought some stuff, not quite like the Rick Ross thing. I didn't buy 100 cars, but I bought a few of them. And they were junk. They were exquisite shit boxes. And so now you see the garage here.
It makes more sense. Yeah,
it's well impressive. Yeah,
the garage now is super big and right up our street. But but at the same time, as a touring Brit, you kind of want to go and see all these cars. All the two cars you just mentioned, I have no idea what they are. Your two first cars, not a clue.
5,000 pounds of rusting metal, just garbage.
Just garbage.
Right shit.
You've got to say it to me. They're not going to let us sleep until you say right shit.
What is great about LA and what we love about LA is the roads. Did you guys get to drive out in Malibu? Did you drive Encino Canyon?
Okay, so you're going to have to help me with some of the names. So we did Angeles Crest a couple of times.
Oh, there you go.
We nearly died in the Mustang, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah, that's the dangerous place to drive.
That's where people go to die.
That's where people go to die.
We tried our best.
It's assisted suicide, America style.
I said, Tony, you go first. Go flat out. It's absolutely fine. And I was just hoping he was going to go flying off the cliff, but it didn't happen. But Malibu, we did longitude. I'm going to actually look it up.
Latigo.
Yeah. Which is so tight. And you know what we did Latigo in? The Escalade.
Yeah. Oh, no.
We ran over 5 children, didn't even know.
Oh, that's our fault. We should have been better hosts, Zuckerman. We should have brought them out there and shown them the proper... you'll be back. When are you leaving today?
We'll definitely be back. So we're leaving today. So we literally our flight's in a few hours, actually. So you're our last stop. But
save the best till last.
Thank well done. He's really
that's not a Zuckerman-like statement.
I say the right shit.
You're not being your true self, Tony. He said, why are we going to go to these guys? I just want to have some pancakes.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. That's what we want to do.
Where can I get a milkshake from? We're trying to get a milkshake all week.
You definitely want to. I hope you're lactose intolerant. Go to In-N-Out Burger, have 2 or 3 milkshakes, and get on the plane.
I won't see him the whole flight, right? He'll just be in the toilet the whole time.
There you go.
So where should we have gone to Malibu? Because what I've done I forget all the names, but where should we have gone? What are the good?
Well, really, what we do is we like a nice, warm, clear day like today, which is pretty much every day, right? You get to drive your cars every day. We do a run-up PCH to Encino Canyon and then make our way through the canyons back to our friend Bill's little cafe, the Malibu Kitchen, you might have seen on our social media. And that is like a round of golf for us. At the end of that, we feel good.
Okay.
Encino has nice long sweepers uphill. You come down either Malibu Canyon or Canyon Dune with some other sweepers. And if you wanted real tight technical stuff, there's a lot of other ones like Stunt or
but they're too tight for cars. They're good for bikes. They're not great for cars.
What cars do you take on them roads? What sort of do you take?
Everything.
Old 911s we've had. 550.
I took a Prius once up there with my newborn son and my mother-in-law, and I said, I got to do this thing, and I got to take care of the baby, and I got to take care of you, so you're coming with me. And we went in a Prius, and it was still fun.
That's still a blast.
But we do everything. We've done I did the 8-ball up there. Right. We've shot up there. I mean, every car that we own, we take up there.
And you can go for a few hours, or you go for a day, or
a few hours.
It's the whole
Sunday
thing.
Morning,
you wrap up
Saturday
in a couple of hours.
So for us in Europe, when we go into mainland Europe, we go for days. So you can go from Calais, which is our entry point into mainland Europe, down to Milan on essentially canyon roads for a week. You know, you can just go the
fantastic.
whole way. So we were talking about it, trying to plot a trip maybe up to San Francisco.
Well, you can. Oh, you could take Route 25. There's a whole inland California route that's fantastic.
Is there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my
And
God.
Highway 1 up to Big Sur.
You go up inland and come down on the coast or something.
You know, I did the Bugatti Chiron Pure Sport up on Encinal, which was very memorable. Very
would be very
memorable drive. So the Prius, think of those bookends. The Prius to the Bugatti,
really
right
have
there,
to
and everything in between. Fantastic. All right, let's do an ad real quick. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you'll get another 3 months for free. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with the eSIM card, while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month and personally secured by Mr. Ryan Reynolds. That's right, he's an owner in the company. I've been using Mint Mobile for a long time before this holiday deals, and I have to say it's the perfect time to switch. Mint Mobile's best offer of the year is here. For a limited time, buy any 3-month plan and get 3 more months free. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with the eSIM card. Or if you need a new device for a limited time, get 6 months of free service when you buy a select device and plan. So, what do you do to get any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months free? Go to mintmobile.com/spike911. mintmobile.com/spike911. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/spike911. I and Ryan Reynolds, thank you. All right, here we are back. The only thing you worry about, just getting back to driving up there, is on Highway 1 and occasionally up in these canyons, you'll get slow, touristy drivers. And you do have to be a little careful. California is really bad at pulling over and letting faster traffic go by. Have you noticed that?
In fact, the left lane has now become the slow lane on a 2-lane highway.
It has.
So-
it really has. It's solidified as the slow lane. Yes.
This is so weird because this is all about relativity, right? For us in Europe, no one pulls over ever, like
Right.
ever. So we've been driving around going, people are so polite here.
So nice here.
It's always like looking for the next turnout. Like they'll get out of our way because you can get stuck behind a Fiat Panda going up, the best road in Europe. That guy is not getting out of the way. And to be honest, he's probably quicker than you as well.
Yeah.
It's
A
outrageous.
Fiat Panda?
Yeah.
But you guys in England can't get away with anything, can you?
Yeah, no, you have speed cameras everywhere, right?
All
Is
the
it?
while.
Is it? I thought I heard that you could be maybe an hour outside of London, go to work, and lose your license in that one drive
Easily.
by getting 3 or 4 tickets
Easily. Yeah. So every time you get fined in the UK for speeding, you get 3 points on your license and a fine. You do that 4 times, which you can do on an hour trip to work. If you're being a dick, then you're going to lose your driving license.
And for how long?
It depends on the
3 months,
Yeah.
6
Is
months.
there a traffic court there?
Well, yes, you can do a representation, you can go and argue it, but there's not much you can argue. So like I got done doing 24 in a 24 miles an hour in a 20
Oh, no.
over a bridge, 3 points.
Yeah.
Like
3 points, 4 miles an hour.
4
Yeah.
miles an hour. And then the worst thing we have now is average speed cameras. So on our highway,
boy.
they said in average speed cameras that they can change the speed of. So our national speed limit is 70 miles an hour on the big roads. But if they decide for congestion they want to drop it to 50, they'll drop it to 50.
You don't know.
Well, they'll give you a warning, I hope.
Yeah.
Because then you'll be really in trouble. But they drop it and then you have to do 50 for 30
That
miles.
doesn't seem right. So how do you guys
How do you
live
like
one? But yeah, what do you do? How do you drive then?
We come here.
No, seriously, where do you go?
We go to Europe.
We go to
Europe.
Yeah, we go to Europe. Well, you can't. Wales is great, but okay. So this is a mad one. So Evo magazine. Have you ever heard of?
Yeah, of course.
So I guess it's like the road and track. I guess of the UK. They created this network of roads in Wales called the Evo Triangle. It's where they would go to test all their cars. They made loads of videos with Chris Harris there and Henry Catchpole, and it was beautiful. And so people like us would go to the Evo Triangle. Like that was a great place to go and drive.
Yeah.
And obviously all the people that live there went, why are you coming up here to drive? Like, terrified.
That's not how they talk, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Don't talk like that.
You'll learn my accents are appalling. But all the locals got furious and they started a petition to put average speed cameras on these canyon roads.
No.
Yeah.
So there's average speed cameras on these canyon roads. It's insane. So
Meanies took
is this
over.
stuff going to happen here, Zuckerman?
No, because
I know,
all of the,
but hold on. Red light cameras are equipped with radar and speed cameras. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They could turn them on. Are they going to do it?
Fortunately, it's the one thing that the left and the right can agree on. We don't like cameras. Nobody likes cameras, but for different reasons.
Right,
But
right.
we hate cameras here.
But is it really up to a vote?
In a way,
Isn't it revenue generating?
people will only take so much. We
Right.
are, there's cameras everywhere here. But you remember when we saw the CCTV shit that you guys started having 20 years ago plus, it was a thought here of what kind of weird civil liberty violation is that? But then
Now.
we were always told you guys, hyper violent, like Clockwork Orange. You guys need that shit because some little Scottish
Look
guy's
at it.
going to cut up and cut you, and your spill your claret is going to come out of you.
That's what they say, claret, yeah. But that's not really Scotland. That's like the East End of London, they'll say claret.
Yeah, classy claret,
Yeah.
the spill your claret.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Wow.
here has felt dangerous. Is the danger here real? Because we wake up on the news. Our favorite story this week was there was a crash on one of your highways, and whilst the guy had crashed his car and got out to speak to the cops or the other person, someone carjacked his crashed car and
drove
drove
off.
away.
Yeah, that
Yeah, we
sounds
love
right.
that.
Yeah, that sounds
That's
right.
just an awful
Those are the mole
morning.
men. The mole men come out of the bushes. And do
And then every day someone's shot. Everyone we've met this week, Tony said, how many times have you been shot? Because
Well,
apparently...
here's the thing about LA, and having lived in several major cities, New York and Boston, LA is the second biggest city in the United States, but it doesn't look like a city. It looks like this sunny, warm suburb. But the city crime has always been there, so it's always more potent. It always surprises you more when you get someone puts a gun in your face. You go, "Oh yeah, that's right. I live in a city. I can't leave my doors unlocked just because it's sunny and people are walking their dog in the neighborhood." So it's a city like any city. And I moved here, I think, in the 90s, and that's when the real crime was here. What's happening here now is, I don't know, it's with a population like this, there's always going to be crime, but I don't see it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't experience it.
We don't
in the 90s, Zuckerman, I was in Hollywood in the 90s. You'd look out your window, and once I had a sawed-off shotgun aimed
Yeah,
at
the
me.
80s.
Oh my
I
God.
was driving a 68 Cougar XR7 convertible, and apparently someone thought I was looking too cool at
too
midnight
fly.
by the Hollywood Bowl.
The 80s and 90s were pretty wild and dingy in Hollywood.
Do you remember when they said don't flash anybody with
Yeah,
lights off?
that was a gang thing.
It was
You'll get killed, and and it just depends what makes news, right? Because before that it was don't wear a bandana in your pocket. Someone's going to come up and pinch your butt. Then it became don't flash your lights. And don't. There's always some new thing to put on the news and make everyone hysterical.
And now it's don't wear your Rolex because someone's going to come take it right off your wrist. Everybody's
your
walking
hand off.
around.
Tony's been all week wearing this, like, the goldest Rolex you can imagine. And
Let's see. What do
everywhere
you
we
have?
go,
Oh, lovely.
everyone sees him and goes,
Nice
"What
Daytona."
are you doing? You're a lunatic.
Yeah,
well,
except what happened?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
yeah.
If you're an idiot, you're going to find trouble, and that goes for here, Amsterdam, London, wherever. If you are looking for trouble or just oblivious,
Yes.
you're gonna find it.
I noticed that
right.
most of this trouble happens around 2:30 a.m.
Of
to
course.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
We're
always
fast
in
asleep.
that-
The witching hour.
Yeah. Stuff,
It's always in that zone. All right, let's do a quick ad. It's never too early to play holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about gifts, whether it's for a friend or the friends in your pants. Oh boy, here we go. You can make this a season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com. Use code SPIKE20 for free shipping and 20% 20% off. As you know, the Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer and the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer feature proprietary advanced skin life technology, trademarked to protect your delicate presence. Plus, both are waterproof, so there's no issue clearing the snow out of your driveway. Wow, they're really going the distance on this one. But smelling good doesn't stop the shower. You also get the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, and Crop Reviver Ball Toner can solve stank problems all day long. Well, they didn't really hit the ad copy there. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. Oh, they did! Look at that. Go to manscaped.com, get 20% off with free shipping with the code SPIKE20, manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code SPIKE20. Manscaped, get your jingle balls ready for the holidays. All right, let's get to some Jerry questions here for you, Sam. He said that you would understand this question. Let me see.
I hope I do.
I hope
not thinking about
I hope I wrote it down.
Oh, he's not asking about.
Oh, here we go.
car taste.
Okay, this is almost quoted, but this is the gist of it. He wants to know about you, Sam. Porsches or Ferraris? They're not the same. Who are you? Pick a side.
Yes, good man. Yes, now pick.
Oh, I'm in the wrong room to say the true answer in my heart. But
Say it. We appreciate.
I know what he's going to say.
Yeah, say it.
Go on, mate.
Ferrari.
Yes, come on.
But can I just before you
you
gang
gotta
up
give
on
it
me?
I want to hear.
Before you gang up on me, there is a bloody Ferrari sign on the wall over there, so I'm not completely in the wrong territory.
I love Ferraris.
Yeah.
I love them too.
But why?
Emotion. Okay, so like for me, like Ferrari started with Schumacher in the late 90s, early noughties, Luca de Montezemolo, everything that Italy and red cars and style and elegance. I was just like, this is the car I want to drive. And actually the first Ferrari I fell in love with was a Nicolas Cage film, Family Man or Family Guy or something like that. And he was the successful bachelor, one of the worst films ever. And he was in like a 550 or 575. He rocked up to this apartment building and was like, Mum, that's who I want to be. And she was massively disappointed at the time. But everything about Ferrari excited me then. And you can't shake that as a kid.
And what do you have? You have a 360,
I got a 360. So I'll now bore you with the details because
Why are you laughing? Tony, why are you laughing?
Because the worst car I've ever been in.
Okay, worse than the Mustang?
A lot worse, yeah. I'd basically rather walk.
Tony's favourite thing is to absolutely ruin my car, but I can't allow myself to just call it a 360. So this is one of the highest spec Modnas you could get from factory. Don't laugh.
What does that mean?
So we had
It's got air conditioning.
It's got four wheels.
Oh, why am I doing this to myself?
He really is the British Zuckerman.
Like a sick crow laughing.
I have to put up with this every week. Honestly, he's a devil on my shoulder. But yeah, so as close as you could get to a Challenge Stradale in a Modena. So I got the bucket seats, the roll cage, the fire extinguisher, the Challenge grille. I then put a Challenge Stradale exhaust on and 360 Challenge ECU. So I rev up to 9,500 RPM. The manual box. It's an old Ferrari now, 2002. But for me, it's the most simplistic driving pleasure with all the emotion, all the shoutiness. I think that I'm really cool. Maybe I'm not. And I just love the experience.
And you've owned it from new?
No, I've owned it 5 years? 5 years now?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6
You've had
years.
it a long
I
time.
think they're great. I like the way these cars look. I started looking at them just recently. But
360s were a big improvement over the 355, and I don't know if they got much better looking after that.
But you know what happens, Zuckerman? It's I started looking at them again last year when someone passed me in one on the PCH, and it just made a sound, and I went, "What's that sound?" And then I saw it, and I went, "Oh, I want to be that guy."
Was it the Stradale, the special one, or was it just the standard?
Standard.
Okay.
But it had a stainless steel exhaust on it. It made a sound, and
Yeah.
when you turn like that, you just go, "There you go."
I'm going to be biased, but they're aging well. So, for me, it's a beautiful looking car. It's all the power you need, right? 400 horsepower. It's all the power you need with the gated manual. It's super engaging. Tony's favorite line is that it makes all the noise and goes nowhere.
Yes.
but
You can basically run faster.
You're both right.
Yeah,
You're both right.
that's all I need. And
what are the maintenance issues with the 360? They're numerous, right? Is that an engine out service?
No,
Ferrari?
so they can do it's engine in belts because there's a little hatch behind the rear seats, but in the UK, I would say it's £2,000 or £3,000 a year you need to run that car.
A month.
So it's not atrocious, but you got to look after them. And any classic car, hey, you guys know better than anyone, you got to use them right. So as long as you're using the car, it responds well. Ball joints in the suspension go every 3 days, so like that's a big thing.
Really?
Yeah, really bad. And I mean, aside from that, I've been lucky. My car's been very well looked after, but. As I say, the Ferrari thing, so to answer Jerry's question, I do love Porsche. I absolutely love Porsche in a very different way. Mm-hmm. So I did a trip in 2019. I took a 911 Carrera T, the 991.1, so the modern Carrera T. I took it in inverted commas around the world. So I flew the car to Australia, drove across Australia, drove all around Europe, and then drove across North America and Canada too in one calendar year. And it was great, but here's the long and short of it. I got back to the UK and I sold the car. Mm-hmm. Now, that should be in a car that I kept for the rest of my life, right? What an adventure. Me and my wife.
No, you used it the right way. You were done with it.
I was done with it. That's exactly it. With the 360, we did Mille Miglia this year. I've been all around Europe. And for me, that car's a car I'll never sell. Mm-hmm. So that's the connection for me. That's how I differentiate them.
Does no one to buy it?
No one else.
Wait, the 911T around the world.
Around the world, yeah.
What were your maintenance issues?
You know what? Absolutely nothing.
That's what I thought.
That's right, yeah.
Absolutely nothing, yeah.
No ball joints?
It was
no ball joints. No engine out. No.
Did I see somewhere that you're waiting for a new GT3?
Yes. So I got a 992 wing car coming.
Okay.
I wanted the touring, but in the UK, they're like, no.
I've got what do you mean? What do you mean?
He's got a touring. We have a lot
You
less...
have one, but you couldn't get one.
Yeah, he likes to remind me of that on a daily basis.
That's good.
And my car still hasn't turned up yet either, so that's brilliant.
What color did you do?
I haven't revealed it yet.
Is it paint to sample?
Paint to sample.
Oh, cool.
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
But it's, I guess, a bit like, have you revealed the 4RS spec yet?
Yes, we have.
Oh, you have?
That is Oslo blue.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Oslo blue with some other special stuff that we haven't
You can
revealed about
no
it.
one listens to this. Go ahead.
Chris Harris revealed his GT3 Touring, his 992 on this show. Yes.
Can I reveal anything exclusively? No.
You can hold on to it. He's got to keep it for his own show.
Have you driven the 4RS?
It was in my driveway. Johnny Lieberman brought it over, and I thought I would wait. I sat in it, and I started it. Did you guys drive it?
We've driven it,
Yeah. I had it for a week in the UK. We actually had a guy come to our event yesterday in a white car, one of the first in California, white 4RS. He had 3 GT4s beforehand.
Wow.
The guy was like, it's the best thing in the world. I absolutely adore it. I don't want to absolutely poo-poo your dreams. I didn't bond with it. I didn't love it.
But why?
It's not a 911.
Right. That's one of our concerns.
As good as it is, it's not a 911.
Right.
It is just a great Cayman.
Yes.
But maybe that's all it needs to be. Like maybe I'm just being too...
But is a 911 a 911 anymore?
Well, you'd be better positioned to say that than me, yeah.
Excuse me.
It's a great size.
You know, I was going to say, and I've always felt that way about him. I was on a track, I think Road Atlanta, in a GT4. Okay. And throwing that car around Road Atlanta, I bonded with it. And
PDK car or manual?
It was a PDK GT4, but it just had balance that at the time, I think I was driving a GT3 RS 991. It was a press event for that car. The GT4 just handled better. You know,
Interesting.
It just handled better. And I remember leaving that experience going, it's not a 911. It's not as fast, but it's easier to handle and it's more fun. And I felt like I could throw the rear end of that car out so easily. Whereas the GT3 RS, I didn't know if I was getting out of it if I threw the car out. You know what I mean?
Totally different experiences. I mean, so Tony will be better positioned as well because he's owned both of all the previs generations.
All right. What do you think?
How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's definitely an RS for sure. It feels like an RS. I had a 991.2 GT3 and a 991.2 GT3 RS. So it definitely feels more like the 911 RS for sure. But I've driven the 992, the current GT3. And in our country, I don't know about values in GT4 RSs in this country, but in our country, a GT4 RS is more money than a new shape GT3. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So as in the market value, the market adjusted value. So when you look at it from that point, and I've driven both cars, if you're just going track only, I completely agree. You'd probably have the 4RS, but if you're going to use it road and a bit of track, then you'd go GT3 for sure, because I think the GT3 is a better road car.
Yeah.
So,
well, the Touring is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've barely driven the Touring, to be honest. I mean,
But hold on, I want to jump in on this because I've been obviously been listening to so much of your chat, especially around the tyres, right?
The tyre
with the
issue.
Touring. So I sent you a message about this ages ago because I did it in the UK. 992. It's a modern car, GT3 with a wing and GT3 Touring, right? Back to back. And I drove the cars and I got back and I said to Porsche, I don't care what you say to me, these cars are different. Like, they will say they're exactly the same. There's no difference. The 992. And I was like, I don't care what you say, they're different. And we went through it all, and the one thing we figured out is the different tyre.
Yeah.
So supposedly, obviously, the Pirelli with the softer tyre wall and all the stuff that you've already spoken about makes it a much better road car. I don't think with the same tyre that maybe there's any difference between a wing car and a Touring. That they tell you there's no difference.
I couldn't feel one.
I couldn't
at
feel
all.
one
At all. No.
But
not
you
at all.
said you could, right?
with the
Tires.
tyres.
Right.
If it was
With the same tire. I had driven the lava orange press car, and then I drove our Touring, and it felt exactly
Identical,
the same.
right?
Yeah, aero, everything. I mean, I didn't have it going fast enough to notice any aero issues with it.
So is the Touring now, dare I say it, a little, not pointless, but you're just buying it just because aesthetically you don't want to wing,
It's
right?
weird, yeah.
And there's
I
less
think
of them.
so.
It's not really a Touring, it's just...
Which
a-
was
an
our
appearance
that was our
package.
number one complaint about it. You should make this a GT3 for the street. Just make it a little
Slightly softer.
Right, we put 18-way seats in it to soften that ride a little bit,
Yeah.
tires, and now it's a perfect car, right?
And the Touring in this country, is it more limited than a GT3 wing car? Because it is in the UK. It is in the UK.
That's why I couldn't get one. So like,
I don't know. I think it is, right?
I-
Dean offered us a Touring, and we never really. I think we would have been happy with a wing or with a Touring.
We
He just
were
gave us
happy
the
to take
Touring.
whatever was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't ask.
That's where we're at right now. Yeah.
Whatever
You know,
you can give
between
me.
sinking and shit not working and chips and wars and supply chains, if it's here, give it to me.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I've got. So my car's stuck on the production line, no carbon ceramics and no Bose sound system. And they're
Yeah.
like, we don't know when we're getting these things.
No.
So my car's just stuck at the paint shop. It's not going any further than
We've
that.
been hearing that.
And we
Dean.
hear if you don't have the Bose system, it doesn't drive. You need to have the amplifier. Or
Yeah.
some
No, they
part-
can't. They can't deliver it. There are
it's a-
cars sitting on the docks that don't have
Yeah,
amplifiers. in it.
they don't have amplifiers.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not
You
the
know what?
speakers.
Those
the
cars
amplifier.
count as delivered.
They
on
are.
the delivery number.
That's the
So
little
it
game.
keeps
That's cheeky.
sending over the cars undeliverable means they've been delivered for production purposes, stock purposes, IPO purposes.
They can then install a
Yes.
amplifier
There you go.
later. Wow.
Let's do a quick ad, and then I want to talk about the LA Auto Show. And now a word from CollectingCars.com. Collecting Cars are highlighting two awesome vehicles this week. The first being a gorgeous 2017 McLaren 540C. Finished in silver over black, a two-owner example has only covered 11,000 miles from new and has been fitted with an aftermarket sports exhaust system to really make the most of that amazing power plant. Bidding ends Thursday, November 24th. That is tomorrow, Thanksgiving, so get on it. They also have a 1992 BMW E34 M5 Touring. What else can we really say? An M5 station wagon with 335 horsepower, 3.8 S38 straight six, and a manual transmission, offering the perfect blend of family hauling and fun back road driving. This one is Avis Blue. What a beautiful color. Been in the same family for 10 years. Serviced earlier this year and ready for you to make your Thanksgiving great. Bidding ends tomorrow, so get on it. CollectingCars.com. CollectingCars.com. Our number one sponsor. We're huge fans. Ed Lovett, Chris Harris. It's the holiday season. Get on CollectingCars.com and buy your gearhead a car or some cool stuff. Back to the show. Did you guys go to the LA Auto Show?
We did.
We did many times. We did a little work with them.
You did?
Yeah.
Is
We
that-
have lots that we can
See,
talk
that's
about with
why
them.
I thought you might be here, was the LA Auto Show. What work did you do with them?
So we did this is so social media. We did an Instagram takeover.
Is that your American accent?
Yeah,
It's
pretty-
so
I did
bad.
warn you, all my accents are
That was
awful.
good. I liked it.
Yeah,
You
it
liked
worked
it?
for me.
I
Yeah.
can do more if you want. You
No,
know.
please don't.
But yeah, so no, it was great. We went. This was yesterday actually. So we did the Porsche Dakar thing, which I guess we have to talk about, right?
Yeah.
And then we went back yesterday and did.
But
more
no,
of the show.
were you doing it for Porsche or for the LA Auto Show?
I asked Porsche if I could do it for them. They said, we don't really know who you are. So.
Well, that's what they tell us too. And they tell Jerry they're just too big to recognize the people.
Magnus Walker's there with a completely empty room for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Damn you, Magnus.
No, Magnus is too dangerous for them. They know who he is, but he's
I love
too
Magnus.
dangerous.
I love Magnus.
Too dangerous. But yeah, let's talk about the Dakar.
Okay, that's a nice way of saying it.
A Dakar.
Dakar.
The
We call it a
Dakar.
Dakar.
I call it a Dakar.
Dakar.
Dracar Noir.
Dakar.
Yeah.
Accessorized to the gunwales with a roof rack, nightlights, spare gas, and water canisters, Zuckerman. Folding shovels, a roof tent, offered with an optional rally design package inspired by the Dakar winning car of 1984, if you want it to look like that one. You can also pick a number, Zuckerman, 1 to 999. Which will keep you up for about a week. 2,500 cars. Is that limited? Is that small?
It's not that limited. Come on, the 4.0 was 600.
Right. And a price tag of 225, essentially. What do you think?
Who wants to go first? My God.
What I'd like to hear, I'll just say this, because I haven't really been studying this car, but when I hear shovels and water, I think of a Malibu Fire special. I can go out to my burning house.
I think of a car I'll never use, is what I think of. Something that I might bring to a Cars and Coffee once, and people will take pictures, but am I using it? The shovels? You're talking to the guy with the Land Rover Defender who put the rack on, who's not using the rack currently, and the little wet box on the side.
Really, we're elderly gentlemen. We're never using a shovel. What are we using? Maybe just
This
to
has
toss
been
a
my
dead
problem
rat.
with safari cars. Have been a problem for me unless you live in the woods with 2 miles of dirt. Unless you have unless you live in Gorman, where you can get out every morning and you like just being by yourself and making noise. I don't know what you're doing with these things.
So this is a car that should be for me, right? So I took the Carrera T around the world. I've said to my audience a million times, I'm going to do this again. This is Drive the World 2.0 is coming. I'm going to go to South America and Africa. This should be the perfect car for me. And I look at it and I go, why on earth would you have that? Like, what are you going to do with it?
What do you do with it?
What do you do with it? And is a Carrera 4 GTS not enough already? Like, for an icy road in Switzerland or for a slightly dirt track here in the canyons, like, do you really... I mean, for the 3 guys that get it and take it off road, do you know Brock 996 Road?
Yeah.
The guy if he gets one, you know the guy's going to absolutely live his best life, and you're going to see amazing imagery. For him, I want him to have the car. For the 2,480 other cars, they're collector's cars, no? It's just...
How about a promotion? Well, they should have made 10. They should have had a series of races for people like us. Take them to Dubai in the desert. We can all go out and hoon those things, have a good time. But I don't know. You're going to see them. You'll see some dope, some mom going to the mall.
Money.
Yeah.
I had to say, I have money.
But I don't know. Tony, what do you think?
Oh, it's a full-on pile of shit. Honestly, it's double the money of a GTS, a 4 GTS.
Which is a great car.
Which is a great car.
Yeah.
If you live in a dirt track or in the woods, it's still a sports car. It's not jacked up by that. It's not an SUV. I mean, what's it for? It's just a full-on marketing tool, I think. I think it's Porsche saying, we can make it.
You know where you might be able to use it is if you're a rich guy who has a ski house
in Montana. But you could
up in
there's your
Aspen.
Cayenne. That's why you have a Cayenne. That's why you
exactly.
How good is it going to be off
I think
road?
it's weird that this little subgroup of people started making these safari cars, and then of all things that Porsche's looking at, trends that are out in the world that are happening, they look at that and go, "We're going to do that." Right? Because you look at all of the people who went after that safari car craze.
Yeah.
They were kind of the rejects in high school. It's like, and we're going to follow.
Isn't that all of us, Zuckerman? Isn't that the whole Porsche thing?
Those are the ultra nerds, the guys who went into building their own safari builds. I always thought were an odd crew.
Who are you talking about specifically?
Well, you know.
But
our fellow host Matt Farah.
No, I was.
But huh?
Oh, I forgot about him. Well, we love Matt,
but he sold his, which proves our point. You use them for a little while if you have an Instagram account. And you get rid of them.
And then you move it on and you go, oh, God, what did I do? I'm not going to get rid of this fucking thing.
For the likes.
Dr. Frankenstein, I sewed 3 different babies together. Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. This is why we're not sponsored by Porsche.
Or anyone.
Why none of us are getting invited to that special room.
Yes.
But it's the only thing I like is that I don't want to knock them for building it in the sense where I want to encourage manufacturers to build cool stuff.
Yes, agree.
That I like, but I just think, why would you buy it?
They get points for that.
Yeah.
Take a
Did
chance.
Porsche have anything else there?
Yes, they had the new 3RS, which we hadn't seen in the flesh.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it looked better. I really don't like the carbon and also paint front bar.
Oh,
what is
stop going on about
that?
So they had a white, red livery with a Weissach package that had a carbon fiber exposed hood and on top. It was a little all over the place.
But it's part carbon fiber. That's the bit that I don't like. Remember the old 2RS? You had the full carbon fiber.
Right.
Great. But on the 3RS, it's got like some bits are painted, some bits aren't. And to me, it looked fiddly, but...
Fiddly.
It looked fiddly.
How we're getting one.
Mega.
How should we spec it? What should we do? What are your thoughts?
I'm the wrong. I would go straight gentleman spec. I would have all paint. I wouldn't go Weissach. I would do like the blue Gemini blue, like a light.
You would
blue
go for a nice classic paint to
look.
sample.
Yeah.
Tony.
I'd have a stealth car, all black.
Oh wow,
Black,
that's
black,
the
black,
direction Mr. Seinfeld is.
Yeah,
taking
I'd have a proper stealth car because that will look mega.
Can you do coloured interiors here? Do you get the option to?
Depends who you are.
Okay.
I think you can. I don't know. It's hard to say. I've
Our
built
friend gets whatever interior he wants.
Yeah. Well, we've got one too. Thanks to our friend.
Have either of you guys driven the new GT3 RS?
No.
Okay.
We like to drive them the first time when we get them.
Fair.
That's
a
really
good way to do it.
I remember the GT2 RS we got. I remember you drove it first, and I remember that drive home from Beverly Hills at like 9:00 at night. Just my mind was blown.
It's a mega car,
The
that,
sound, just that the lights just blah 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 blah.
What a
and then,
car.
Yeah, proper car.
I like that moment, and that's why I didn't drive the GT4 RS.
Right.
I
Makes
don't
sense.
need to. Don't need to review it. Johnny did it. I'll wait for that moment.
Yeah.
because that's when you really know you did it right or you did it wrong.
It's so strange as well when you get a new car. You know if you like it or it's good in 100 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
You go out, and you
Yeah.
literally drive out and you go, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" Or you go out and you go, "What have I done?"
Right.
Which was literally my McLaren experience. I was 100 minutes down the road and I got the first error message and I was like, "Oh, come on."
no!
And that's true for years.
Yeah.
I have found if you have more than like 3 or 4 cars, that when you get back into that car in that first 100 feet, if you're feeling great, you did it right.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling anything,
Yeah,
sell that thing.
You may have cured me. The G992 GT3 Touring, I hated it the first time I was in it with the tires.
Yeah,
I didn't drive it again.
Yeah.
You had to really pressure me to get back in that car with the Pirelli.
No, I called you and I said we should sell it right now. And then Jerry convinced us to put the tires on. I was with you.
And
on
now
that
I
one.
really like it.
I'll bring it
Really?
back.
It's made that much of a
It made
difference
that
for you.
much of a difference.
It's in my
The Michelins were just beat the fuck out of me, and the noise.
The front end was out of alignment too. We think from delivery.
They must have dropped it, so that was another reason.
Yeah, that was
That
another
never
problem.
Dropped it off
So-
the boat.
But now it's sweet. I'll bring it over. I just brought you the Targa over there.
Yeah?
So you
Forgot
can
we
drive
had that.
Yeah. That's been sitting there.
It's a nice problem to have.
I forgot
Got
what
that bag of money I left in the corner.
What else was going on at the LA Auto Show?
So we saw there was a lot of electric stuff. We're very vocal about our thoughts on electric, so I don't want to bore your whole audience.
Give us
but-
Is that
Top line.
what do you mean? Is that you hate it or you don't like? You like it? What does that mean?
What do we say here, Tony?
Oh, mate.
Well, we don't care.
No, I'm trying to think with how to summarize it without going on for half an hour. You know?
Okay.
I think not the future, not the only option.
Right. Synthetic
You know,
fuels.
It's not
synthetic
the end.
fuels we're big on.
It's
We
not the end.
love synthetic fuels.
Great.
We've been doing a lot of research in synthetic fuels. But yeah, it just, in our country as well, infrastructure is a disaster. The cars are not green to create. There's no way that you can roll it out to bigger, vehicles, planes, ships. They're not going electric. So, okay, in a city center, sure, it makes sense. But I came here, I think California is the third biggest registered EV usage in the world, right? It's a state and it's in the world. It's the third biggest. And still, I've seen V8s everywhere.
Yeah.
It's still predominantly people in combustion engine cars. The cost of electric cars is too much. Now in the UK, the cost to actually charge them is too much. We're gas dependent to create electricity. Anyway, I've
Then
gone on.
why are people keying your SUVs?
We don't
over there.
get that so much.
So
in
what
the
is that
UK.
story? Is that really not you guys?
No. Oh, the slashing of tires.
The slashing of tires.
Yeah. That's some grannies that live in like really nice parts and they go, we're going to save the universe. And they go around and they slash SUV tires.
Grannies.
Yeah. Grannies. Genuinely, they're always old women that do it.
I'd like to see the outtakes of them trying to put the knife through the tire. That's
little
hard.
fingers off.
Yeah, it's hard.
And they spray paint on our dealerships as well.
Yeah. I saw on the Rolex dealers, they were throwing stuff on there. Yeah.
Someone should spray paint their eyes, teach them a lesson.
Well, they would in this country. It's all like everyone's a do-gooder in our country, you know, like free speech, and you got to let them protest and all that, you know.
The police can't do anything. So they'll block the biggest highway. I don't know what your big highway is here, but they'll block our biggest highway. They'll just sit across the middle of the road and the police can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, there'll be people in the back of an ambulance dying and they're like, sorry, we've got to wait.
You know what would happen here?
You just get shot.
They get clobbered. Batons over their heads, the do-gooders.
What do you guys think about electric cars? Because I'd rather set fire to myself than own an
I love
car.
them. I really do enjoy them. Yeah, I mean, my opinion is born out of a couple of things. We get ripped off for gas here. I think more than you guys do, but here we have a monopoly of really corrupt oil companies that jack up the price of gas in California just to make money. Sometimes $8 or $9, and when you see the pattern of it. Oh, another refinery fire, and a winter blend, and no, it's the taxes, and they're like, taxes are $3.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you ask around a little bit and you hear about what's really going on is government can't control this monopoly of oil refineries. You get pissed and you don't want to put money in their pocket. So part of it is driven by that for me. Also, the smog of the early 90s and the 80s in LA, it was bad. Like when I first moved here and lived in Hollywood, your eyes would hurt. You'd walk outside and your eyes would be red. And
you'd have stage 3 smog alerts. Yeah,
and you start coughing and you go, oh my God. This is
COVID, basically.
Yeah, this is my air. Yeah. And so, you know, the hope is it improves and it cleans up. I don't know that it has or not, but
we haven't seen no smoke.
I'm only going to go there kicking and screaming. I did finally get a Taycan. We used
Taycan. There you go, Zuckerman. He's in.
I'm in.
He's in as of last week. He has a Taycan.
But that's for the fan, but it's not for me.
But the product is good, right? I don't knock the manufacturers. I think a Taycan's a good car.
It's the best.
Taycan's great.
I think it's great.
The new EQS is amazing. I have a Model Y that I love.
You love the EQS. Fantastic.
You do.
I drove the AMG one.
That's what I'm driving this week.
Oh my God. But is it not the ugliest car in the world?
I
haven't looked at it yet.
You would never walk in a dealership and go, oh, I need to have that. Oh, my life has changed.
But I believe all electric should be weird and ugly. It should all
come on. The Jetsons car was cool. It was
but if you look at like Livewire's electric Harley, it looks like a motorcycle, and nobody's buying it because it looks like a motorcycle. But I saw somebody down at my hangar area there at Santa Monica Airport had this new BMW electric long thing, 2-wheel thing. I was like, what is that? It's the CXO 920 or something. And I went, I want one of those. It's all electric.
I want to be left behind.
It's great.
That's what I want to be. Just leave me in 95 and I'll be fine. You guys go up ahead. Dude,
Life is going to leave you behind. But
leave me behind.
The EQS, I loved. I thought it was a great option for normal errand family driving. Would I ever put any of these things in my sports car spot? Not yet. I'm interested in that the E-Cayman thing I just saw on Instagram the other day.
That's interesting.
Funny and had a funny sound to it that did sound like a Jetsons mobile, and it looked cool. And I do love the quickness of the Model Y or an electric car in traffic, in passing people on the road quickly. The little zit, zit, zit. I enjoy that in that car more than I do in any sort of GT3 or any other car. There's something so nice about it.
M1 or 2M. Try it in one of those cars.
Yeah.
Those are Frogger
But see,
cars.
this is silent. This just goes...
I don't like silent.
I know, but you get away with more. You get less middle fingers.
But can I ask what normal family can buy an EQS? I mean, they're probably $200,000. Right?
But the point is, LA's not normal.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we're
we
abnormal.
can't.
Okay. But you're right. No, they're expensive and they're not affordable. And if you live in an apartment, it may not be practical. There are lots of reasons it may not be practical. The weather makes it more practical here. I don't know that I would feel the same way in Chicago. I've yet to take our Model Y up to Tahoe in the middle of winter. Like, I don't know that I would trust that in the mountains as much as my Defender.
But for us, us that like, as you say, sports cars or enthusiast cars, I don't think it quite makes sense. And the synthetic fuel thing, carbon neutral fuel thing, I think it makes a lot more sense for us in the short term.
Yeah.
You know, to keep all these cars on the road, which is history and engineering and everything about it, and also cheaper. It's for you to replace this entire fleet with equivalent electric enthusiast cars, that's a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know, we have a lot of issues with it, but the products are getting good, is my point. I agree. The EQS is good, the Taycan is good. That Hyundai Ioniq 5 is seeming very popular.
Yeah, the Ioniq 6 is the one I saw. The Hyundai had a lot of cool stuff going on.
I saw that at the auto show, the Ioniq 6.
Yeah.
Think about where they've come from the 80s. I was looking the other day going, these cars are really attractive. They're getting it right.
Well, they had this Vision 74 concept, right? That's a hydrogen fuel cell car that was just all over Instagram. I came to it just looking at the picture, going up and down, going, what the hell is that? That looks great.
It looks like an old rally car, something like that.
Yeah,
like an old Pikes Peak car.
It looked great.
Yeah. It's really cool.
It almost had me going to the LA Auto Show. And I said, nope, not going to that dump and getting COVID. Fuck. 10 days before the bet is up.
We got breathed on a lot, so I'd be careful if I were you.
Yeah, I know. Well, Zuckerman, you were right. I got sick last week, but it wasn't COVID.
It wasn't the right kind.
It was the right kind.
You know, we have a bet. We have a $2,000 bet. $2,002. Lieberman put in $2.
That's like me.
When did we make the bet? In April of this year?
Yeah, and I bet. I said by the end. The first bet was by the end of the year you'd get COVID, and then we did double or nothing. But we went from December 31st to November 30th.
And you've never had COVID?
Spike, have you ever had COVID?
No, not once.
Never.
And it was supposed to be January 1st. Now it's December 1st. We're 10 days away.
I'm
as
sick
of today
over you
recording.
not being sick.
And last Sunday I got sick because my kids
But
came
the
home.
wrong sick.
I got the wrong sick.
You got the wrong sick.
And just so
Have you had
listeners-
COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This is what irritates. He says, I think I have immunity. No, it's just statistics. Eventually everyone gets it.
And I said, I won't get it.
Immune.
I'm not going to get
He
it.
thinks he's got special powers.
I do.
I do.
There's a special thing. We have a friend in the UK. His wife had it. They slept in the same bed face to face. He
Me
never
too.
got it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Matt
you slept with his wife?
Listen, Matt Farah in a podcast booth for 1 hour, closer than we are, barking in my face with COVID. I didn't get
Aerosol
it.
spray. Lots
They need
of
to do
it.
studies on you.
Yeah.
They went-
Or vaccines work.
Oh, yeah,
It's
maybe,
the simplest explanation.
Or
I
you're
got
the
it after
carrier.
The vaccine. I got it after the vaccine. Oh, you're the
He's the
carrier.
carrier, yeah.
Started with you,
But
man.
I
Patient zero. Monkey boy.
China
He
in
had sex
2020.
with monkeys.
I tested this morning. So a total of 9 tests. I've done a total of 9 tests. 2 PCRs.
Over how many days?
Since we started talking. And 2 days before that. So what was that? Last Friday?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, we
Zero.
were at
And I went to the
auto show
doctor.
a lot this week, so your chances are going up because we definitely probably carrying something.
I'll get it for sure.
The idea of giving him $2,000 makes me puke.
We'll
And
do a
on
big
the
hug.
air.
We'll have a massive
the
hug
air.
when we leave and hopefully transfer
Yeah.
something across. Yeah.
Well, this has been tremendous fun, gentlemen. Is there anything we haven't covered that we need to cover? Your love of the 991 Speedster.
Yeah.
Now, see, you're a Ferrari guy, but you love that car.
Yeah, because for me that's the one that makes sense. It's it's all the emotion, all the feeling. Put the roof down. It's a GT3 with sound and wind in your hair. I don't have.
What
much,
about
but
odd English marks, TVRs, Bristols? What do you think about?
I love a Morgan. So me and Jerry would have.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I love a Morgan. Caterhams for the odd occasion. All of this stuff. Tony's literally falling asleep.
Oh, I can't.
Tony, what do you collect? What do you like?
I've Ferrari and Porsche, man. Yeah, all new stuff, by the way.
Which are you? Are you a Ferrari or a Porsche?
If I had to pick one of, it would be Ferrari as well.
Really?
To be fair,
Both Ferrari guys.
yeah. I've had a lot of Ferraris. I've had a lot of Porsches as well, but
No need to show off, mate.
I'm trying to figure out. This guy's got all of these new Ferraris and Porsches and never been to America.
Yeah, how does that
There's
work?
an incongruity.
Yeah, what's going on there? What do you do?
No, I own a motor dealership.
A motor dealer.
A motor dealership, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do for a job every day. And then
And what kind of cars do you sell at that dealership?
all high-end German stuff, predominantly. So BMW, Audi.
What's the
and
name of your
Mercedes.
company?
It's called Gravelwood Car Sales. Yeah.
Gravelwood.
But he doesn't like anything old.
No.
Genuinely, like we did
Likes
a
the new
podcast
stuff.
which was three most overrated cars in the world, and he goes F40, McLaren F1, Carrera GT. I'm like, I'm going to stop
That's a
recording
great,
now.
yeah, Carrera GT for sure.
I mean,
It's
you
a
think
piece
it's
of
overrated
shit.
too?
What is what?
Overrated, as in cars that aren't good.
Oh, aren't good.
Yeah, crap.
Oh no. Oh no. I missed that.
Exactly.
What are you talking? The F40 I might be there with you on.
Yeah,
What was the
terrible.
third?
McLaren F1. Don't agree with him because this.
I can't think of anything worse.
I
boys.
don't think it's worth what it's worth.
No.
I don't think it's worth so overrated money wise.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
you're
what I
exactly
mean, yeah.
right. Carrera GT, you're way off on. But if it were still a $600,000 car, you know, but how much money do you think it's worth? They're worth 1.8 now, 1.5.
No, I mean, come on. Remember,
I don't know. They are so special and so analog and so unique. It's just a unique thing.
What I liked about owning one was that it scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
really
That's
did.
it. It wants to kill you. That's
it
the
wants
best
to
thing.
kill you. Every other Porsche makes you better than you are, except this one. This one will expose all of your flaws and kill you.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing like it that you can buy in the. If you have a Porsche collection, it's got to be in it. There's nothing else like it that Porsche makes.
It's
918
unique.
isn't it like it. It's the sound, the danger.
What did you call it, Tony? A bigger Boxster.
Yeah, I can't remember, mate. It was a while ago. But
When was the last time you drove one?
a long time ago, to
Yeah,
be fair.
yeah.
But if I had a choice, if I had a 918 and one of them Carrera GTs in front of me, I wouldn't even consider. I'd definitely have the 918.
The 918, I might make that choice too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flames come out of it.
Because they're similar money. If you look at
it's-
the value of them as well, like I don't know about the value of 918s in the UK in US, but in our country they're similar money. In fact, a decent Carrera
You're
GT is
correct.
more. So
You're correct.
They're about the same.
yeah.
But the 918 you can drive daily
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, Carrera GT is definitely special, but I think 918. I'm not going to disagree with you there, but we disagree on a lot of other things. But
That makes a change.
They were three pretty big cars to lump in as being overrated. That's Tony's.
What do you
special
think
mark.
about a Dino, a simple Dino, 246 GTS?
No, look, see the old Ferraris.
What?
The old Ferraris I really appreciate.
Yeah.
Again, I still have the same analysis that they're shit. Like, they're just full on piles of shit and you wouldn't want to drive them. But because I just love Ferrari in general, like I'd have them to look at. I'd just buy one to look at. But
What do you think is the best driving vintage Ferrari? A 328? Is that even?
I haven't driven
I
one,
think
but-
the Dino is probably the easiest of the
Yeah.
vintages I've ever driven.
Yeah.
I agree. When you put it up against a 911, forget it.
Yeah.
But it's the most. I would drive that more, I think, than any other one.
You know what else is really weird? I really like modern cars in general, but if you said to me pick a car of all time, I'd say an Enzo. So which
Oh,
is
wow.
an old pile of shit.
Yeah.
But it's just
Why is an Enzo a pile of shit?
no, but it is to drive, isn't it, compared to a modern car?
Yeah.
So that's my reference point. You see,
Right,
I compare everything
to a 488 Pista?
to
But you don't want to go into
48,
electric.
the 48
So-
Pista is
Yeah,
one
I've
of the
had
greatest
everything.
driving cars
I've had
ever.
3 of
But I'm
them.
like,
I just love them.
have you checked out the new Range Rover Sport? It's not as good as a Pista.
No, I don't know. I don't do that. It's
You're right about that. It is a great
It's
car.
a great car. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a little old now.
Yeah, for sure, definitely inside.
So nothing
but-
new out of Ferrari. Like,
Yeah, I've got a 296 coming. That'll be here in March, so I'm looking forward to that.
so that might be better than a Pista for you.
Well, let's see. Because
called him out there.
I
You've called
really
him out
like
there.
the Pista.
I don't disagree with you on that. The Pista is one of the
I
greatest.
really like the
drive-
2RS as well. You know, like it's a proper bit of kit.
How
Yeah.
long have you been in the car business?
20 years. Yeah, long enough.
Long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Seen a lot. Yeah.
And that's the
Both.
thing why I can be a bit derogatory about old cars, because I never always sold new cars. I used to sell like proper piles of shit, like like $500 like that barely moved. You know, we used to sell them and call them lamppost warranties, because you'd free lampposts, and if it broke down, you're on your own, sort of thing. You know, so that's why I've been exposed to all these cars over the years. So I'm just fed up with them. I'm just done with them. So
It happens though, right? For all
Yeah.
of us, if we're around a lot of these cars, it's sometimes hard to get super excited, you know?
It does. It's a normal part of the car owning thing.
Yeah.
You just want to sell everything. There's a day you'll wake up, you want to sell everything. But don't do that. Take it from Seen Through Glass at Spike's Car Radio. The sister podcasters. We've joined together now. Hands across the ocean.
From Mar Vista to Leeds. Sister cities.
You got to come over for like a Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to come over and see where they shoot Pennyworth. That's what I want to come over. And The Crown. All of my favorite
Downton
shows.
Abbey, I can take you around if you like.
Totally. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
a pleasure
having
having you
Yes.
on.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
We're excited that we connected with you and you made us your last stop and that we met the British Zuckerman. That's the thing I'm most excited about.
And like Zuckerman came from nothing.
Came from nothing. Hey, I came from nothing.
Piles of shit.
I came from nothing.
From Schlock. Looked at the house that Schlock built.
That's right.
Yes.
We all came from nothing.
I came from something. So.
We'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.